Good morning. Happy Monday to everybody. My name is Jared, and this is the Morning Brew, the beginning of the pre-market show. It is March 8th, 2021. And we will go ahead and get started. How's everybody doing today? Got lots of good mornings, lots of greats. All right, everybody's looking good. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So, start of a week. We are going to start on our weekly perspective for the SPY. And looking at our SPY on the weekly, we can see that, we've had some selling in the past couple of weeks, as most of y'all are aware of. We've also seen some increasing selling volume in the SPY. So just overall, a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty with price levels, and just an overall pressure in the major index products. Right now, I just have the 20, the 50, and the 200, green, blue, and red, respectively. These are simple moving averages. And you can see that amidst all that selling, we still have our bullish channel that we're trying to keep in mind. We want to see if price can remain in this channel and give us sort of general support and resistance targets, along with the fact that we did pull down through the channel and we almost got to the 20, but the SPY actually pulled up on Friday's session. So we never actually touched the 20 moving average on the weekly, which is an indication that there is some amount of sort of buying the pullback in this market. So we will see if that continues, and we will see if there's anything to contradict that assumption. Getting into our daily, we can see our channel a little bit more clearly. Thursday and Friday session are of the most note to us because we had significant selling on Thursday. It actually brought us through the lower end of the channel. And then Friday, we had what is essentially a reversal bullish sort of candle, notably closing back within the channel and just about closing at the same high as Thursday. So, from the perspective of the daily, all of the selling was counteracted by all the buying on Friday. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go up from here, but it does indicate that there is a lot of back and forth in this range. And while it is a relatively large range, it is an important one. So if we lose the lower end of the range, we would expect probably a lot more selling pressure, because any bulls that were buying on Friday would now be incorrect. And, that could potentially lead to more selling to a support zone. Obviously, with the bulls having won on Friday, we want to see if they can hold in this channel, maybe a pullback to retest the channel and then higher highs. Coming down to our 4-hour, you can see how this structure played out on a lower time frame. The test of the channel, the large rally that we saw midweek last week, and then the significant pull down, loss of the channel, we consolidated, and this was something we noted on Friday. We had sort of a pre-market wedge that was forming. I went ahead and took it off just to clear up the picture a little bit, but if we zoom in on that, we were kind of forming some consolidation here that ended up breaking bullish. We did have quite a deep pullback, so unfortunately this was a relatively hard day to trade because of how deep we pulled back in the morning. But this ended up being the correct bullish breakout into our reversal candle. Now, we're seeing here on the lower time frames that things like the 200 moving average are providing just a general resistance zone. We can see that price tends to respect this 200 and roughly the 384 price level in the SPY significantly well. And another thing of note, the 200 is starting to roll over. So while there is some larger time frame indication that we may bounce or we may have a little bit of a pull up from here, there are some lower time frame contradictions to that. This may be simply a back test of resistance. And then obviously we're looking to see if this channel is going to hold. Now, if we dig into our lower time frame, we look into our volume profile. We're looking for some intraday opportunities using this sort of perspective. We can see that there's obviously a lot of price below us. They did set some amount of value around 376, and this was that wedge that was forming pre-market. They ended up putting a little bit more value in this zone. We are just inside of our VA low and high range, which means over the past 10 days, we are sitting at prices that 68% of the time, this is where the price is going to be. And most notably, our VPOC at 383. I'm going to just call it 384 because we've seen multiple tests of that level. So it's somewhere in this area. You know, for opportunities here, I think just mainly holding this trend line, which is our channel trend, still relevant and still being respected in multiple instances. And then obviously trying not to lose our pre-market lows, which sit right below 380. So we're seeing if they can pull up to value, which would be 384, and then most notably come back up and test these higher resistance zones that we have. So a little bit of indecisive action. It's obviously hard to judge given the range and the size of the moves in this market, but we are seeing an attempt to hold and a return to our bullish structure, which is going to be our daily bullish channel that we've drawn. Switching over to our Qs, which have been some of the weaker. Just let this back and bring this up. Yes, okay. So this has been our weaker index, but overall on the weekly, if we look at the perspective of where did we come from and where did we go, we did so far pull back to the 20. Now, once again, this is a relatively large candle. There's a lot of volatility baked into this 5 days worth of price action on the weekly, but we are just about trying to hold the 20 simple moving average on the weekly. Also note that we pulled into September highs, which was sitting around 303. We did pull down much further to about 297, so it's not as if we just perfectly touched it and then bounced, but it is worth noting that we closed above September highs. So if you were to note a significant support zone after what was multiple days of just trending price action on the weekly before any sort of pullback and consolidation, this would be the first place that you kind of eyeballing on the weekly, along with our dynamic moving averages. Shifting to the daily, you can see that that test of that price level here, and we did notably close above. We have similar price action, but notably not as strong on the SPY due to the fact that the selling that occurred on Thursday was not completely cleared by the Friday candle. So the bulls are attempting to hold this. There is a bullish pin bar type candle at support. However, the bulls still have some proving to do, and there's a very notable price level prior to the sell-off at 310 that we have not closed above. So these candles here providing support, that broke down, that turns into resistance. We want to see if they can hold daily support and break through this sort of intraday resistance. That would give us a good sort of solid range and enough value for us to maybe hold and come back to test our channel lows, yeah. This actually, sorry, this is our daily uptrend lows. So that's it's even weaker than the channel. So shifting to the 4 hour, we'll just see some of that price action. You can see here on the 4-hour, things like the 200, 50, and 20, all sitting above us, all acting as areas of resistance. There is weakness in this index. So we're trying to see if the tide's ever going to shift in here, because this index holds a lot of our major tech names. It would be good to see an overall bullish set of sectors in order for the SPY and other major markets to continue higher. But what we're seeing here is that there's a lot of weakness, even though we're being optimistic with some of these support zones. So pretty much all eyes, in my opinion, all eyes on the Qs, because they have the most proving to do, and they have not shown yet that they're ready to reverse. In fact, what could potentially happen is they could simply consolidate in this area for a period of time, and then from there make a more decisive breakout or breakdown. So if that were to occur, we would look to other sectors for strength. And then looking at our 10-day, 30-minute, and bringing up the volume profile. As I mentioned, notable value placing at 303. So we have this large value zone as price tends to sort of inflect and build pressure in this area. We do have a couple of smaller zones. You can see 310 and maybe 311 somewhere around here. There's a high shelf of value, and that was done by some of this price action. That would get us back into our range, and then 314 is going to be our VPOC. So we're I would say extended to the downside from this perspective, and that's why there is a slight bullish tilt that we're kind of looking to achieve in this market. But without getting back into the VA low range of the volume profile, we're mostly just playing probabilities at this point. Given that we have some support zones and some potential to get back above, there is opportunity to the long side, but the target would be VPOC, which would be about 314 to 315. And then from there, we'd have to analyze how the value is changing over time. And then finally, we will go to our weekly on the IWM. Let me take off this, bring up our 20, 50, 200. You can see that our daily trend line, we're nowhere near that area. We did have a sort of short-term trend that we pierced through, and we're trying to get back above it. And then we had a notable area of support around 205 on the weekly. The thing about this particular index is that we've been so strong that the moving averages are having a hard time catching up. So in this particular index, we could see potentially some consolidation. We obviously have levels that we want to hold if things are going to be strong and just allow this to consolidate. And then we have sort of a sloping downtrend as we wait for the moving average to catch up. So there is still relative strength in this index, but this pull down is probably just as volatile, if not more, than what we're seeing in the Qs. So the range on this candle is really hard to judge, because you have a 230, let's call it $217 product, and this candle gave from low to high about a $20 range. So this candle represents 10% of the price of this index. So it's really hard to judge, directionality based on the range. Looking at our daily, I'll just take this off. We can look at that on lower time frames, but we can see this support zone, these candles here, multiple tests, and then the major rally off of this low. So we certainly don't want to lose this area from a bullish perspective. This pull down did come down to the 50 on the daily, and we did notably close above. So similar to the SPY, we came down to the 50. It is a major area of support if you're looking just at trending perspectives, and we are trying to close above. So there is some examples of bullish, I I guess, perseverance in these markets as they try to hold these price levels. And then once again, to our lower time frame, we had our double top at 230. If we draw just a simple price level right around here, we're kind of seeing that price is coming down, hitting some amount of resistance, pulling down lower, resistance, lower. And now we're actually struggling to get back into our uptrending channel area. A thesis that we had on Friday was that there would be a wedge that formed in pre-market, similar to the SPY. Draw this just so it's clear. Just this area of consolidation. We did break bullish. We had a ton of volatility as we actually cracked through the wedge and then bought back up. And now we're trading slightly above. So, you know, are we coming down just to kind of hold some higher price levels, which would be somewhere around here? You can see these respect and this respects. And then, you know, using that to get back above, or once again, are they going to sort of roll over, hit some area of resistance, and then come down to lower price levels? That's yet to be seen. We're looking for sort of congruence or divergence in these similar markets, and whether or not everything is pointing bullish or everything is pointing bearish. And right now there is a lot of uncertainty because we're in an area of a lot of different price interactions that have yet to be proven. So, and if we shift down to our 10-day, I'll clear out some of these just quick lines that I've drawn. We'll pull up the volume profile. We can see that value was placed down at about 213. This is that pre-market wedge, very similar to the SPY and the Qs. There was value placed here, so it can act as support if we come back down. This price traveling through and then coming all the way back above, this is a pretty bullish structure. And then we are attempting to get back into our main range, which is 217 to 227 with 223 VPOC. Very similar. If you're playing a bullish sort of thesis, I think you'd want to target VPOC from this value perspective. And then obviously, if we start to lose this shelf of value, you may become concerned because there's not a lot of support below that area. So you're playing for short-term sort of moves to value. And then the idea that if we lose our support value, that would be a way for you to get out of a losing trade. So with all that said, let's look at a few things that may or may not give us some confidence. You know, for, I guess, to ruin the surprise, there are a few things of concern today that we want to keep an eye on. The first one is going to be the VIX. So our volatility index on the SPY over the next 30 days is elevated. If we just look at like a short-term time frame, we did have a spike up on Thursday's session. A lot of that got sold into after we made that huge reversal, and now we're gapping up. So once again, you know, this is not run for the hills sort of perspective, but if the reversal is to hold, I would like to see volatility come in even further, because we are sitting a little elevated above 25, and the fact that we're sitting right at 27 on volatility. Another thing of concern, and for those who have not seen this index before, I don't think we've brought it up in this show before, but there's another way you can look at sort of fear and whether or not there is a rush to cash, specifically the US dollar. And that's, in this case, I'm using the dollar index, which is DXY. So throughout most of 2020, if we just look at the sort of trend of 2020, we had a lot of volatility in the crashing of the market. And then we had a significant downtrend in the dollar, which means that the value of the US dollar has gone down. people are tending to use cash and place it into other products as opposed to holding cash, just because the advantage of investing or placing cash in other areas was a better risk to reward for them. But what we're seeing down here is there is some short-term support that has formed. We came down, we tested roughly 89.50. And if we look back very long term, you can see this is an area of interest if I just extend this out. So the dollar does not like to lose this area very often. Dollar came down into this area. We had a notable inflection. We started to pull down again, and now there is a pretty significant and rather momentum / aggressive uptrend that is starting to form. So if the question is there fear in terms of people rushing to the dollar, I would say that over the past week or so, the answer is presumably yes. There is some indication that the dollar is strengthening from these levels. And at this point, we're just looking to see if any of this resistance is going to matter relative to the amount of momentum that is starting to form. So we talked about things like yield in the 10-year interest rate, and that was a similar story where momentum started to pick up, and then we pretty much made a sort of breakout parabolic sort of move, which could notably go much, much higher from here. But if we're starting to see it in things like the dollar, that can once again be a sign that people are rushing away from potentially equities or even commodities and starting to go into cash and potentially go into yielding products like bonds. One thing that I realized over the weekend, if we go to our Analyze tab, Fundamentals, and then we go to SPY. Let's see. So if you look here, let me pull up my pen. I didn't realize this until late last week, but one of the things, oh, that's too big. All right. One of the things that is of particular interest to long-term investors is yield. And when you look at a product like the SPY is giving you about a 1.5% yield. The 10-year Treasury note cleared 1.5% yield as of last week. So whether or not that was an inflection point and that caused some amount of sort of rotation from equities to bonds and just presumably people trying to find the best yield for their dollar, that is something of note. We have been looking for that inflection point, and it appears to be somewhat related to maybe 1.5, given that the SPY has this yield product or a yield on its dividend. So, so these are things we want to carry forward into this week. The markets have pulled back. They are attempting to hold some very notable support levels. And I would say that from the perspective of just a regular correction, we're seeing roughly a 10% in the NASDAQ. We have not even seen a 10% in SPY or IWM as of yet. And if we have, it's just, it's just barely breaching that point. So whether or not we need more correction in order for things to continue higher, or if this is the start of something much more severe, we want to look to see if there's indication and fear in other areas. And we're seeing a little bit of that in the VIX. We're certainly seeing some of that in the dollar. And the bond yield is something that we want to keep note of as it either continues to climb or if it ever does pull back. And our 10-year is going to be our TNX. You can see here that it's still elevated, still above 1.5. And although we are pulling back as of Friday, we have not pulled back significantly. So there's still a lot of a lot of momentum and upward pressure in this product. So with that said, let's see, I'm gonna look over any questions. Any questions related to looking at certain products, I can answer in the chat. Looks like people are helping out Cliff there. And then on YouTube, it looks like the volume profile. We will be having some resources come out, both in the form of videos and slide decks describing these indicators and why they're relevant, how to use them, how you can kind of layer them into your analysis. But TBD on that. We're building it as we go. I would say stay tuned this week. We should have stuff out before the end of this week. And then we will just layer into those resources as needed. Let's see. I guess, yeah, we can look at, if we just look at the E-mini. So someone's asking about looking at the E-mini S&P. And let's see, where did we open on Sunday? That's always of interest. It looks like we opened higher. So we opened at about 385, 3854. And then we've just been slowly sort of selling off since then. We did find some amount of support around 380. And then we're actually getting a notable push from these areas at this moment. So it looks like, along with the SPY, I'm sure the SPY is pushing as well. They really just opened higher, pulled back into sort of where the V bottom ended. I kind of just want to note 380 overall because it's very general in regards to what we're looking at. They're holding 380 and they're trying to push higher from there. So yeah, always kind of worth noting. I would say 385. Anytime I see an open close to like a $5 level, I kind of want to keep it in mind. We know values at 384, but they could easily close this gap just by pushing it higher, even though they sold into it. So they'll kind of test it from above. So. All right. Let's see. And yeah, I think that'll be good enough for today. Tomorrow we'll look into maybe some of the commodities a little bit more. Most notably, I want to talk about crude oil. It's been having a very significant breakout. It's actually trading around 67 a barrel at the moment, which is way, way higher than I ever thought it would be. And it's actually pulling back quite a bit. So this could be something that is, notable for a trade idea, as the energy sector has been very strong. Usually if you can break out from a pullback like this, you can sort of look to buy the next pullback. But this has been a pretty significant rally in crude. And then we'll look maybe at gold, a little bit of silver and natural gas. And then we'll dig into some individual sector and ticker names on probably Wednesday, keeping in mind that this is, longer term analysis. We don't need to do this deep of a dive every single day for every single product. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to our pre-market speakers, Carlos and Norm. Once again, if y'all have any questions, please reach out to me or just the general Bear Bull community, and we'll be happy to answer. And y'all have a good, safe, happy Monday and trading session. My name is Jared. This has been Morning Brew. Thanks, everybody.
Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother.
All right, good morning, good morning. Just want to make sure everyone can hear us okay. It sounds a little bit weird on our end. Um, just want to get confirmation here. Let's see. Okay. All right, perfect. Good morning. So good there. Okay, excellent, guys. Welcome to another week. Already starting to look very exciting the way we're looking at the SPY here. So looking forward to see what's coming up. And again, the last couple of days, last couple of weeks have been very, very exciting, as you know. So looking forward to see how that is going to continue. All right, before we get going here, Norm, let's get into the market policy, what's going on there, and what can we expect for this week?
Man, I wish I could tell you what to expect for this week.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like what direction are we going to end up going? So, we had a pretty substantial some days last week where there was a little bit of fear in the markets, VIX popping up. As the indices dropped, it feels like we have dropped a lot further than we actually have. In reality, we are not far at all from all-time highs, just a few percent drop. But it feels a little bit different for whatever reason. Saving grace kind of being Friday. Friday was a hard sell off, failed to make a new low from the previous day, and then got a pretty good bounce toward the end of the day, right back to the 50 moving average on the SPY. So, um, I think that was probably a positive sign. Uh, I think if I was having to choose one way or the other at this point, I don't think we're going to see anything catastrophic. That could always change, but it's just kind of my gut right now, looking at the action in the last few days and then Friday. So, 10 a.m. we've got wholesale inventories this morning. We'll dig more into data later in the week. We got to cut it a little bit short today because of course we got Dr. Katz this morning, but yeah, that's where we're sitting for the moment. Let's see how this ends up.
All right, absolutely. Let's see how things play out today. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's start with our gapping up list. Both sides today looking pretty long this morning, so you can see here our gap up list pretty long, and also our gapping down list. So let's get into it. Start with a couple of low flow tiers: 3.1, 6.3, and 3.9. ANCN at the moment. This one is 66%, 5.2 million shares traded. For the most part, I had a couple of green candles in here. Then Dennis has just been selling off for most of the morning. So I'm not sure how great this is going to trade going forward. Let's make some rows over here. We'll have to see how that's going to play out. We'll put it on here for now. It definitely has the volume for a low flow stock. It has some good movement. We'll come back to that one. Here's eyes. This one we've seen in the past before, guys. Doesn't trade very well, but very active this morning. 50%, 27 million shares traded. Had a good day on Friday. Any news on this? Usually when you get this type of continuation, there could be some type of news on this. So I wonder if that's the case there. While we look into that, let's look at
Yeah,
shares.
they had an FDA they had FDA news come out on Friday, so that's helping them continue this morning.
All right, that's looking very good, guys. Always great when you have a catalyst to back this up, and you have some pretty good movement right here. 6.3. This could be the low flow of the day, already up 51% with a huge volume. And yesterday ran up. I'm sorry, not yesterday. Friday ran up very well, also all the way up to 10. Looks like we might be wanting to test that one more time there. All right, I am VT. This one here not looking so good. No volume. We'll skip on this one. It's not a low flow stock, but the daily doesn't look great, and it doesn't get great volume neither. Barely is hitting 1 million shares traded on any given day here, so this is not good. Let's go to NETE, one that we have seen it plenty of times in the past here in our gappers list. This morning it's not looking exciting. It is up 21%, 147,000 shares traded, but the pre-market does not look active at the moment. ATH, this one we've seen this one before in the past. It is a horrible day trading stock, guys. So you could lose your shirt on this thing. The spread is horrible at times. You don't get a lot of volume, and we've seen these gap ups before in this ATH. So I'm gonna take it off my list. It is up 14%, 368,000 shares traded, but just based on the history on how this trades, I don't think it's a good one for the way I trade. Here's CUE. CUE for the most part not looking all that great. It is up nice 14%, but the volume is not there, and the daily looks horrible. It barely trades well at all. You can see here the daily candles Very, very choppy. Again, volume also under a million for the most part. This entire time here, you're getting all these moves with barely no volume. That is also scary. Not a low flow, but sitting at 27 million. Again, just a scary sight the way this is trading right now. All right, so no luck so far besides eyes. Everything's been pretty bad for the moment. Let's keep going here. EAR, what do we have here? This one is up 11.1, but also not looking good. Very, very choppy as well. No volume. GME's on here. This daily, I gotta say, is interesting, Norm. I don't know, but this is looking ready to set up for a pop at any time here.
Yeah,
Which
it could.
it could. Again, I don't
I
watch this.
hesitate saying that because I don't want
Yeah.
anybody to do anything because,
Yes.
you know, to
Yes.
make your own decisions and whatever else. I have watched GME. I've taken a couple of small trades on it, tiny trades on it, but yeah, it's wild. So risk
It really
management in
is.
that is difficult.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just be careful, guys. And when we say, this looks like a pop, doesn't
I
mean that
agree with you.
you should get in here to go long.
The setup does look nice,
It
but
does.
that
Yeah.
having been said, they did have news. I guess they, we got it going on our bottom ticker, but the founder of Chewy, Ryan Cohen, they're trying to use him to improve their company and some other things. So that is they do have a little bit of a catalyst this morning. However, I won't be touching it.
No, neither would I. But I'm gonna have it here, guys. 'Cause it's always fun to watch this, especially later in the afternoon after we're done with the open. Things come down a bit. Always great to see what's happening there. All right, I'm gonna stop here with the gap up list. I'm gonna just scroll down and see if there's anything that we've been watching closely. Bitcoin's up today. I see a couple of Bitcoin plays here. Here's Mara. Here's Riot. So they're up nicely this morning. Here's XPEV. XPEV we've been looking at quite a bit. This looks good. This pre-market action. I like XPEV today. Let's keep an eye on that one. Let's take a look at their buddy Neo. See what's happening there. So NIO, what do we got going on? Also looking good, guys.
And earnings this
4.1.
morning, by the way.
Neo
XPEV.
did? Oh, XPEV.
XPEV.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right, so I definitely like that one. I'm gonna add Neo as well. They look good. Also 4.1, down 3.1 this morning. So that's interesting as well. What else we have here that might look good that we have been keeping an eye on? Here's GE. How's GE doing, Norm? What's going on there?
F you to you, buddy.
So GE is up 3.2, but again, just like as we discussed on Friday, very horrible stock. OCGN. Now, OCGN has been interesting. I know the daily is horrible, very choppy in here, but again, I've seen many trades, many really good trades on this one. OCGN will put it as a possible. It's a great scalping type stock. You got to get in, get out quickly. It gets the volume and it can move a couple of cents. You could do pretty well, but again, you can't overstay your welcome with something like this. It moves a ton. All right, so that's what we have here. Gapping down, SLGG. We saw this last week as well, making some noise. They're down now, 11.2, 223,000 shares traded. Their pre-market action for the float that they are at 15.6 does not look great. So I'm not going to add this one to my list. Here's Billy. Billy can trade very well at times. It's one of those hit or miss type stocks. Pre-market action right now is very light on the volume, only 210. They're down 5%. I do like that they're losing some of these areas of support here in the last couple of days. That could be interesting. And if you look at the price action now, it's barely holding on to this area of support right on here. So that could be interesting as well. Maybe a possible at best, but that's about it. It's not looking great this morning. Here's Open. Open we've seen last week as well, very active. Today they're down 5%. 448,000 shares traded. We can come back to this one, put it on the secondary list as well. Billy, we looked at TIGR. This one we had before plenty of times. I don't recall high trade, so I'm just gonna put it on here. We'll come back to it. I'm not saying it's great, but I know they can get the volume. We've seen them move before. I just don't recall if it was a great move or not. But just looking at the information of the charts without any history of this stock, you could tell we're sitting nicely in an area of support and resistance right in between here. We have had a couple of bad days and a nice little short run here towards the bottom. Let's see if this thing wants to hold or start testing some of the lows from Friday, which is an area of great support from previous weeks here. So that looks good. ACTC, 27 million shares float. This doesn't look great at all. I don't like the daily. Very light on volume also. We'll skip on this one. Last one here, guys. JD. JD for the most part. I like this drop, down 4.2. I know JD's daily chart looks horrible, but JD could be good at times. So I'm going to put it on here. They're down nicely. There may be some news because they usually don't move that much unless there's some catalyst going on. But we'll put it on here for now. Let's see what's happening. All right, we'll stop here. Norm, what do you like this morning on your end?
I'm still looking, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be cautious. I'm gonna pick a couple, and I'm gonna try to keep my list short. So if I come up with something other than what you have,
Mm-hmm.
or the rest of the group throws out, I'll do so.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's start here with Mike. Mike is giving us AMC. AMC for the most part looking decent right now. Again, similar to GME, right? They're kind of just consolidating here. They look good as well. They have volume, and these stocks can pop up at any second. Now, what I like about AMC is again, my personal opinion. I'm not any kind of analyst. Is an actual company that can come back, right? Because they have theaters and part of more of a reopening type play of the economy and things like that. Of places that are still might be closed in some areas. So this has a chance. There's something to back this up. Looks good pre-market, guys. We got some volume, 2.5, 5.2 million. Could be interesting. Yeah, let's watch AMC today. See what happens there. Also, the market is strong. That can help GME as well with the SPY pulling up a little bit here. Here's Disney. Disney. Any news on Disney? I like to watch Disney when it has a catalyst. At the moment, they're up 2.3. Not great volume, but that doesn't mean a lot. We've seen Disney do this where, and actually Norm has called it out a couple of times where he'll watch Disney and it looks like this and it does very well. But usually when there's a catalyst, we'll keep an eye on this one. Their daily looks interesting. If you look at their daily, right, they've been consolidating here. They're trying to come up against this 196, and they got a couple of areas here, a couple of levels that we can look out for. So, yeah, let's keep an eye on Disney for now. Heading on down, ICE is running. Yes, ICE is running. ICE is, this thing is strong today. Looking very good this morning. So that's a great pre-market action. So when we talk about the pre-market action doesn't look great on these low flow stocks, right? We're very picky with the low flow stocks. This one is sitting at what's the float on this? ICE, we just had it. What do we have here? 6.2, right? That's the flow for this. So it's got to look great. See, this looks great. Look at the pre-market action you're getting. You're getting tons of volume, 32.5. When you have a stock that the pre-market action looks like this, and you're sitting at a 2.36 million shares flow or even lower than 20, this is not great, right? This is not going to cut it. So, all right, what else we have? So ICE is good, guys. That's on deck. JD has earnings, had earnings Friday or has earnings Friday? Has earnings Friday?
Upcoming.
All right, so I don't, it's kind of
I
early
don't.
to be
That's not a
moving.
catalyst. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of early. So I'm not sure about this. We'll probably drop it off. And DM, let's take a look there. What do we have there? And NDM. Yeah, this is okay. I mean, this stock, we'll take a second look at it closely. I don't like the way it trades in the intraday. We've seen this quite a bit on here. We'll take a second look at it. CCL, what do we have there? CCL right now. So let's look at some of the travel companies. At the moment, they're up 2.2. I don't think they're really in play. I think they're just following what the market is doing, guys. And again, if the market, the way, and Norm said it best, it feels like the market has been dropping more than it has and popping up more than it has just because of sheer volume. If you zoom out just a month or two or three, we're right here. We haven't moved much from this area of all-time highs, as Norm mentioned. So I think when the market is doing this here, this beautiful rally, this beautiful run trying to get green, you're going to have stocks like CCL that are not really in play. They're going to move well. You can watch other ones like Apple, as we mentioned. Apple's doing the same thing as the SPY.
Like the reopening. The reopening trade in general, and that goes back to that Disney. A couple of people have pointed it out, but you're going to see some common threads in those. Uber's up a little bit. I mean, it's not gapping. It's definitely not worth trading. But the reopening stuff, because California's reopening the theme parks, I believe April 1st. So that's
Nice.
going to give you Disney and some other stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Absolutely, guys. So again, I think if you look at CCL and these other ones, I think we could find some stuff that can move very well with the market also. All right, let's see what else we have. FSR, we'll take two from you, Edwin. What do we have here? FSR is looking good. Yeah, it's moving well. Was this active for us last week or the week
it's
before?
been active a ton recently.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
EVs.
This is good. We'll put that on there. All right, CAN. What do we have on CAN? Canan, I think it is this one. CAN. It's okay. I mean, up 4% right now, 552. It's all right. It's not bad, but I think we have a lot of them like this that are all right. Again, I think it's just because the market is pulling up nicely after some wild trading last week.
I'll tell you a funny piece of trivia, not associated with any of this, but since you mentioned FSR, the only electric car I've ever driven in is a Fisker.
Is that what that company is, FSR?
Yeah.
How was it?
A beautiful car, stunning.
Nice.
They reinvented themselves. I think they went bankrupt and were bought out. I don't remember the specifics, but this was built by the previous company. Yeah, it was a Karma, and it was a Fisker Karma, and it was an absolutely stunning, beautiful car.
Nice.
It had it was weird. It had this dash that just the detail in it and whatever. It was beautiful. Anyway,
Yeah.
side note.
I haven't driven in an electric car yet. I would love to feel what it's like not to feel the gears changing. What is that like? I mean, you're just kind of waiting for, okay, there's no gears changing, you know? So it's got to be interesting. All right, excellent, guys. We have some good ones. That one looks good today. Very, very nice pre-market action. Oxy was great last week. Hold on, let's go back. I skipped a couple of people here. What do we have here? Okay, go back up. Okay, so here I left off. CAN we looked at. Disney we have Baba. What's going on with Baba here? At the moment, Baba has got some crazy action here, but you know, I like the daily on Baba. We're at an area of great support. This could be nice. Could be a good possible. We'll come back to the Baba. Tesla, let's see what's going on there. Tesla at the moment, they're up nicely. Again, they're looking very good now. 1.1. They're still in the red trying to get green. This is a big move for Tesla. I know the numbers might not be showing it right now, but look at the run up they had. They were all the way down at 557, up about $40 this morning. So that's pretty nice. If you like Tesla, you can definitely put this on watch. I'm not going to watch it personally. Looks like some of the EV companies are doing very well. NIO we have on deck, guys. That looks good. CCL we looked at. I don't think it's really in play, guys, CCL. But you can definitely watch some of these travel companies. That's CCL. Let's take a look at American Airlines. Has been a very active one last week as well. American Airlines looking nice this morning also. But again, I think these are all, I want to call them SPY type plays. You know, SPY's ripping nicely now. So a lot of these companies are moving up. You could, pick your choice on there. I'll probably watch American Airlines. We did well last week on that one. RKT, let's see what's going on with RKT. This was fun for about 2 days, and now it hasn't done much. So again, I don't think there's a lot going on here at the moment. I don't think it is in place, so we'll sit this one out for now. SOS, let's take a look. SOS, no, I don't like the way this is pretty much flat at the moment. It's got great volume. But again, I don't see anything great on this one. Now, I know we had this a couple of weeks ago. I don't recall if it traded very clean or not. So I'm just going to keep it off my list. We have a lot today that's moving well. So again, we can be picky today. There's a lot on the list. BNGO, we'll do that one last, and then we'll give a couple of minutes for our YouTube chat, see what they have going on. So BNGO, let's see what we have here. They are up 8% right now, 1.4 million. This, yeah, you know what? They all look so similar, guys. Very similar to what we have here already. Look at AMCG, FSR. I think I like these a little bit better with the volume. Right, NIO is okay. XBEV is great. So yeah, I think I'm gonna, again, our list today is going to be huge if we go this route. It's a lot looking good today. All right, let's take a look over at YouTube. What do we have, guys? Let's start with Ali. Ali's giving us a PLTR. Let's see here, PLTR. Yeah, pretty much following the market as well. I don't see anything great here. This could be very explosive. The daily is nice, getting a nice little bounce here, trying to hold this $7 mark at the moment as support. Great area of support in the past, as you can see here. So this could be nice, but again, PLTR could be such a hit or miss, and it could be so choppy at times. There's some really good ones in here, guys. I don't think PLTR can compete with today. Again, it might be great, but again, I'm going to be picky on my list and watch some stuff that I know has a better opportunity to trade a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. Disney we have, guys, that's a possible on here. Their daily looks very good, and you know you're going to get the volume in at the open as well. BITF, that's not showing anything. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what else. PLTR, that's good. BITF. That's
Sorry, I'm quiet. I was just
What was that?
traded eyes.
Oh, you traded eyes? Very nice. Very, very nice. This is on fire right now, guys. Look at that. Excellent. It might hit that 10. It's going for it. So, guys, looking really, really good there. That's definitely the low flow of the day today. Let's take Adrian. Let's take just two from you. I can't go through all that. Okay, CHRA. If your first one starts like that, it's not going to be good for the rest. I hope not. But this one here doesn't have great volume here at all, right? So you need volume. You know, this is not looking great. That could trade very bad at the market open. Or might not trade anything at all. It's definitely not in play, especially on a day like today. And I want to take a look at the second one you have here. Same thing here. So I'm not sure what you're looking at. Maybe the daily for a possible breakout or some news. But if you look at these closely, they're not setting up pretty well right now. So again, you want to see something with volume already in the pre-market. Let's take a look at MC FE. This one here, same thing, guys. Again, you got only 13,000 shares traded. Not saying that this cannot, take off. And what is it? Is this the antivirus company, McAfee, that has
Yes,
the
McAfee.
news and all that stuff? And they're popping up, right? Because they have negative news, I think. The guy fraud or whatever it was, if I'm not mistaken, the companies. It could be another one.
No, that's who you're talking about, and
This is it? Okay.
he is highly entertaining and insane. But I don't know that he has much going on with that anymore. He may or may not, but
Oh,
yes,
okay. Okay.
So I don't know if that's tied to him or not. He is. I don't know how to put it without using a bunch of weird curse words and all kinds of stuff. He's highly entertaining, very strange individual. Very intelligent, but I don't know if that's what's going on there.
We will have to add a little buzzer to our pre-market show, a little beep, so you can express yourself how you feel, and we can block some things out. All right, guys, let's see what we have here. Neo, we have on deck. That's looking good. FSR is great, guys, looking nice at the moment. Mara, let's take a look at Mara, Oxy. Again, Mara is a Bitcoin play, obviously up slightly right now, 4.8, 658. I think this could be interesting, but I don't like trading Mara. I think I'd rather trade something else. Oxy looks good, guys. Somebody mentioned in the chat when I forgot to look at it, but Oxy does look good. I'm going to add this on here as well this morning. I think there could be some potential there. Okay, I can't type. There we go. So here's Oxy right now, looking very nice. Their daily is just incredible. Look at the run up here on Oxy. That's looking very, very good. All right, we'll take two more. NCLH, we did look at the travel. We did look at it, not the travel, but we looked at CCL. Let's look at NCLH this morning. They are, again, very similar to CCL as well, getting a little bit of a pop. Let's remove some of these levels, clean up this chart. Up 2%, 500,000 shares trade. Again, I don't think they're really in play today, guys. The volume is just not there. These stocks trade heavy on volume when they're in play. I think this is mainly following the market. Here's DKNG also going green this morning after being red for most of the pre-market right now. So that could be interesting as well. Again, there's just so many like these. You're going to see so many just doing this right here. You're going to have to be very, very picky this morning. All right. Okay, guys, that is what we have. We're going to go over to announcements, and then we'll come back after Dr. Katz, and we'll fine-tune this list here.
All righty, guys. Trade book. All right. Help me out with this, Carlos. Stay on. I know you usually mute right now, but let's do the weekly rundown, and you can help me out with the mic deal. So,
absolutely.
All right. It's Monday, so let's just give a quick idea of how our week goes. Usually we have our swing trade discussion, 2:30 p.m. with Brian. He has been in the Closing Bell show at or around that time almost every day anyway because of COVID, the lockdowns, and not much to do. So catch him in the afternoon, specifically on Monday, for the swing trade discussion. Then on Monday nights, you've got our technology classes with kicking off with Carlos Mike, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's live every week, and then immediately followed by Kyle's new technology class. Tuesdays and Thursdays, at noon in the classroom, you've got Eamon doing trade reviews. Success webinars, 8 p.m. These are general times, guys. These change, and we'll see one that changes in just a minute. Psychology on Wednesdays. Thursday, you've got Thursday at 8 p.m. That's the group mentorship stuff. And then, as I mentioned, Closing Bell show every Monday through Thursday, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern. That is our room simulcast over on YouTube. All right, speaking about tonight's special success webinar by our own Mike B, talking about trade books. Now, Carlos, this is what I was mentioning, helping me out with.
Yeah.
This is going to be a little more interactive than typical.
Yes.
Mike is going to be posting some survey/poll questions to the group to try to challenge your thinking about what you're doing and how you can either improve the things you're good at or ditch the things you're bad at, it seems. So if you have any more insight, feel free to provide any more color you might have on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. It's going to be very interactive. I think it's the first time we've done it like this, where it's a poll of a couple of questions, not just 2 or 3. It's a couple of questions.
I think it was like 20, Mike.
Like 20, right? So it's going to be good. And not only are you going to see how you respond and what the comment that he's going to give you to that question, you can also see what other traders are thinking, on the same question, the way they think, the way they look at things. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a really good one. Do not miss it. is going to be tomorrow for our success webinar. So looking forward to it.
All right. And then next week, we're going to have Artie, who is part of Peak Capital and was previously risk manager. And now he is Peak Capital's investment growth analyst, investment banker. He'll be on next week, 8 p.m. to talk about the ABCs of risk control. Most important aspect of trading from my perspective. All right, then special time this week, as I mentioned, Wednesday night, 5 p.m. because she is in Europe. It'll be Kreda talking about taming your adrenaline chimp or overcoming analysis paralysis. Both of those happen to just about everybody I've ever spoken to some degree. And then our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Katz, will be talking about, he'll have a town hall where he picks two traders out of the room. They'll talk about some of their challenges and work through those in a group setting. Remember, trade of the day, trade of the week. If you want to participate, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day with entries and exits, then provide any commentary you can on that. Mark it up, post to Twitter, tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Day Trading. BBT Family, Day Trading Stock Market. We'll pick a winner for each day, and then the winner for the week is announced on Monday after the team votes on that over the weekend. If you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, use the promo code PREMARKET24 to get a discount on the intro membership. That is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the chat. Does not auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Just cancels after that 7 days. It also gives you access to those Monday night classes I was speaking about, the onboarding class and the technology class Monday nights every week live. Our new promotion for St. Patrick's Day, use the promo code LUCK40 if you're looking to become an elite member. That'll get you 40% off the elite annual membership. Good morning, Dr. Katz. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. We had nice weather.
That's true, Norm. How are you today?
I'm great, sir. Thank you. I'm great. You read a new book recently, Think Again by Adam Grant, and you thought some aspects of this book could be helpful. So we're going to start a new series, and you're going to dig into some of these and discuss them with them each Monday for the next few weeks.
Yes, I will. So for the Mindful Monday, I thought I would start taking a couple of these takeaways from Adam Grant. The book is called, as Norm said, Think Again. It's really the power of knowing what you don't know, which is a very interesting concept and a lot to be gained. So a couple of things I wanted to go over. The first couple is when he talks about the process of individual rethinking and really developing the habit of thinking again. And he talks about, first of all, thinking like a scientist. When you start forming an opinion, it's really important to resist the temptation to preach or prosecute or politic. You really want to treat your emerging views as a hunch or a hypothesis and test it with data. And he talks very much like you want to be like an entrepreneur who learned to apply and approach their kind of business strategies as experiments. And that way you'll constantly maintain the agility to pivot. So these are all concepts that I think have great application for trading. You also want to define your identity in terms of your values and not your opinions. It's easy to avoid getting stuck to your past beliefs if you don't become attached to them as part of your present self-concept. So you want to try to see yourself as someone who values curiosity, who values learning, mental flexibility, and real searching for knowledge. And as you form opinions, you want to kind of keep lists of factors that would help change your mind. And this is very challenging for people because we generally feel more and more comfortable when we're set in our views. And you want to really seek out information that really goes against your views. You can fight confirmation bias and escape kind of more of this echo chamber by actively engaging with ideas that challenge, your assumptions. And an easy place to start is really to follow people who make you think, even if you usually disagree with what they think. So this is where in the BBT community, talking with other traders who may view things in a way that's different than how you view things can be enormously helpful. Another thing is the concept of calibrating your confidence. You really want to beware of getting stranded at what he calls the summit of Mount Stupid. You don't want to confuse confidence with competence. That's a huge thing. He speaks a lot about the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it's a good reminder that the better you think you are, the greater the risk that you're overestimating yourself. And the greater the odds that you'll stop improving. So really, to prevent overconfidence in your knowledge, reflect on how well you can explain a given subject. Because if you can't really explain a given subject that well, you may not be as smart and as knowledgeable as you think. You also just want to harness the benefits of doubt. When you find yourself doubting your ability, kind of reframe the situation as an opportunity for growth. You can have confidence in your capacity to learn while also questioning your current solutions to a problem. Knowing that you don't know is often the first step to developing kind of expertise. And finally, the point for today is kind of really embracing the joy of being wrong. I know that's not very pleasant for people, but when you find out you've made a mistake, take it as a sign that you're just discovering something new. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. It really helps you focus less on proving yourself and more on improving yourself, which I think within trading is always going to be the goal, because there's always ways to get better at what you do. So these are a couple of things, I thought that he brought to the forefront that would be good to think about. And next week I can continue along this path with some additional ones that Grant speaks about in his book.
That is excellent. I'll have to pick up this book, Doctor. And I also think that I should expense a couch and put it over here so I can lay down and get that full effect during Mindful Mondays.
Therefore, and you could play kind of past episodes with me in your ears, and it'll get you right in the mood.
Perfect. Thank you, Doctor. Have a great week.
Okay. You have a good week, Norm.
Bye.
All right. Excellent, guys. That was great. Okay. All right. Let's get back into it, guys. So let's give a huge thumbs up for Dr. Kaz. That was amazing. Always look forward to his talks on Mondays. All right, guys. Let's get into it. I did a couple of changes here. So you're going to see some stocks that fell off here. I have XPEF, NEO. So these two looking very good this morning. XPEF leading the way. I think that's looking a lot better in the green. I left TIGR on here. I think that has some potential. I left FSR as well. Oxy is in here as well. The daily looks amazing. And I also have American Airlines as another travel possible play here also. And then I moved down AMC. I know it's looking good right now, but again, these stocks are a little bit risky to trade at times with the way they swing back and forth. I have CAN as a possible, and NDM is on here, which looks good. Disney could be up here as well, guys. Disney's daily looks good, and their pre-market action getting a lot better than we saw earlier today. I have OCGN as a possible. GameStop is starting to move here. Again, just entertainment purposes here. Be very, very careful with this stock, guys. It does look great on the daily, but if you are going to trade, the most important thing is going to be risk management, right? I just want to show you right now we're sitting at 55. This thing just a couple of minutes sitting at 151. So you got a $4.50 move right there in a matter of minutes. So again, you want to make your money here on the move, not the number of shares you take. You don't want to be taking 2,000 shares on this. That could be a very tough situation. So be very careful on that one. And I have open here as well, which again has been very active, but I just want to put it to the side for now. And I have GameStop twice. Let's get rid of one. There we go. All right, then we have eyes on here as well, pulling back a little bit. And also ANCN starting to kind of build a base here. So let's see if that turns into anything. So I got both of these here as our low flow stocks this morning. So let's get to levels. Let's start with XPEF at the moment. Let's remove what we have here. So right now, highs and lows from the last two trading days are doing a pretty good job for us. I don't think we need to add much in this area right now. You have our previous day close on here. We have our highs from Friday. We have the lows from the Thursday as well. So again, pretty good as far as this range around the price action. So really the only range I see we can add if this thing does decide to take off is going to be this 32.76. That's a good one. Great area of support right on here. Resistance as well. So that's a great level to have on there. A couple of touches. Their pre-market action looking very good this morning. 5.2 up 5.2 with 2.1 million. So that's very nice there. And here's NEO also looking good, guys. We have a low of the pre-market all the way down at 35.01. 34.89 to be exact. And then above that, you have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and the previous day close as well. So high of the pre-market looks like it's being just got created slightly above, slightly above this. What is this one? Low of 2 days ago, 2 trading days ago. I'm not going to mark the pre-market high. I think it probably will change anyway. So we'll wait for that to continue there. I'm only adding the low of the pre-market and then surrounding the price action, as you can see here. Similar to XPEF, highs and lows are taking care of you there. All right, TIGR, I'm on the fence on this one. I kept it here. Pre-market looks okay, not great compared to what we've seen so far already out of NEO and XPEF. Low of the pre-market, 1697. You have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, surrounding the price action here. The high of the pre-market right on here, 1880. So we'll throw a level there as well. And I think that's pretty good for TIGR. Again, doesn't look great, guys. I might drop this one off from our main list at least. FSR looks very, very good, guys. I know we're kind of heavy on the EV side. This one here looking very nice. Low of the pre-market down at $20. Above that, you have the previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days around the price action. So again, do not need to add any more on there. Let's update this 26.79. Let's bring this down right over here, over at 25.04 off this daily here. You got a nice little bounce off of that. So again, beautiful pre-market action out of all of them. This pre-market action probably looks the cleanest out of the 3. I don't know, NEO is good. Sorry, they all look good. They all look very, very good, guys. So let's keep an eye on those there. Maybe if we can drop a NEO, and if we find something better later from our list here or our moderators list, we can drop NEO. We can always think about XPEF. You're thinking about the other EV plays there. All right, here's AMC. So again, I think this one is I'm sorry, I skipped. No, Oxy. We're going to Oxy. Here's Oxy. High of the pre-market right now, 32.01. So we'll throw a level there, 32 to be exact. Above that, you have the highs from Friday. And what do we have? Well, we have not been up here in forever. Here we go. A year ago. It feels like forever. All right, so let's go get some levels off the top. We do have 33.43, and then right up here, 34.54 is a good one as well. If we want to get fancy, let's do one more all the way up here, 36.26. I know this chart looks funky. I'm assuming a little bit so you can see what we're doing. So right on here, 33.43, you got a great area of support. Excuse me, resistance, right? That becomes support later as well. And you have another pop over here on the daily support and resistance happening right at this 36.23, exactly about a year ago when things went south. So again, guys, looking pretty good right now. Actually can trade very well. It can get volume. We look forward to what happens there. All right, here's American Airlines again. So this will be the travel company I keep on deck right now. High of the pre-market, 20.85. We'll throw a level there for now. It's a good level, actually, because if you look at the price action, look at this daily, right where the red line is that we just marked, and also the price action, you can see resistance and support happening on here. A couple of days opening and closing right at that price target. So that could be interesting to see how the resistance we get here now. And we're seeing it. Pre-market action coming right to it, right? It's an average. Now we're going to be exact. Pulls back to the moving average. Let's see if we can break out of that. So that's looking good. Now, bigger range outside of the price action. You do have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days as well, doing a pretty good job. I am going to mark down the low of the pre-market at 1965. And then outside of that, I think you're pretty much set on American Airlines. So that's what I have so far, guys, now for the moment. As far as possibles, AMC, secondary list, CAN could be a good one, actually. We might drop maybe, I would hate to drop one of these, but maybe NEO. Maybe one of these can drop down, just so we're not so heavy on the EV side. Let's put NEO as a very top secondary. Again, you can keep that one, but maybe we can make room for our buddy here, CAN, because CAN can get going. We know this can trade very well. Got to be careful with this one, guys. It can move very aggressive, but let's do that so we can get a slightly different picture on here. Now, I'm not sure. Is CAN a EV company? Canan? No, semiconductor. All right, so it could be somewhat related to that. Who knows if they're making chips for those cars. All right, so that's good there, guys. I think we have a pretty good list so far. Let's take a look at our moderators list. Oh, CAN is Bitcoin. Thank you for that. All right, so yeah, so Bitcoin is up. Yeah, you know what? I didn't think this was a Bitcoin play, but we have traded this one quite a bit. I'm not sure if it probably trades better than Mara. Is that what it is? Oh, it does look better than Mara. Yeah, sure it does. Okay. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that, see how that plays out. All right, let's take a look at what our moderators are watching this morning, guys. We're going to start here with Thor today. Let's bring in our visuals. Let's bring this right over here, and we see what's going on this morning. All right, so here's Thor. He's watching Disney XPEF Neo. Scroll back up. Disney XPEF Neo, also secondary list. Maybe I'll just hold this here. Secondary list, CCL, Space, and DKNG. As well as PLTR on his secondary list. Peter, no IPOs today. Says watch for the following items, for the following coming out this week. UPC, IMTC. I'm not going to read all these out, but all these are here listed for you guys coming out this week. So we'll see how that plays out. Here's Jared. EV sector's on fire, as we can see, guys. XPEF, NEO, Lee, and then secondary is looking at NVIDIA and some of the semiconductors, as we saw CAN. Not CN, sorry, as we saw some other ones popping up here as well on the semis. John, Airbnb, Disney, and GameStop, if not too volatile. So yeah, GameStop, again, we keep mentioning GameStop's daily does look very, very nice. You got to be careful with that one, guys. Very, very careful. Here's Tiffany. She's watching NEO, Tesla, secondary, Disney, and Oxy. Did we move Disney up? Disney's starting to look very good on the daily, guys, so we'll keep an eye on Disney as well. And Oxy also looks very good. Dima, she is watching XPEF, OCGN, Oxy, and the Qs. Peter, his watch list, XPEF, ICE, CCL. Wow, AMD is not on the main list today, but it is in the secondary list. AMD, American Airlines, Oxy, and AMC as well. Brian, NEO or XPEF, that's what I have to. I have NEO or XPEF. They both look good. I just don't want to take two slots in the same type of play because they both look great. You can't go wrong with either one. DKNG, IMVT, CAN, Twitter, and also BU Buzz here, BUZZ. Mike is looking at his 5-day scanner, Disney, and Airbnb so far this morning. So, all right, guys, that is what we have. I think we have a pretty good list. Ready to start the week. Just to recap, we have XPEF here, but you can also look at NEO. We have TIGR. This one is not great. I don't know why I have this here. The more I look at it now, looking at everything else, it doesn't look good. I'm going to bring this down. I'd rather watch NEO, opposed to this one. So compared to everything else, let's get rid of that. Let's see if we have something better in our secondary list. AMC. I think AMC, we'll throw back AMC back up here. I think AMC could be interesting today, guys. So it's a lot easier to manage your risk on this one than GameStop. So I do like this one this morning, looking very good. Great volume, up 6.2 is definitely going on our list. So we have that one. FSR is good, guys. Oxy is looking very good. Great on the daily as well. American Airlines is my travel play for today, so we'll keep an eye on that one. CAN is on here, which is okay, and also AMC looking very good, very active this morning. All right, excellent. That's what we have. Oh, here's Eamon's list. He's watching BP, XOM, F, and secondary. He's looking at Oxy, MA, and also GE this morning. So, all right, guys, that is what we have. Thank you so much over on YouTube for joining the pre-market show. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning and every morning starting at 8 a.m. with Jared going over the overall market look. So take care, guys. Trade safe. Tonight we have an onboarding class at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so do not miss that. If you haven't signed up yet, you could do so. Go to the link that's provided there in the chat room over on YouTube, and you get a whole week to try things out and see what it's all about. So me and Mike tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We look forward to seeing you there. And then right after that, Cal comes on with the technology class, so don't miss that. You get 2 for 1 this evening, so don't miss out. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and we'll continue here in our chat room. Take care, guys. Have a good one.